Hello there, World of Tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, the Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in the Caliban, the Tier 8 British Premium Heavy Tank. The worst performing Tier 8 in the game by an astounding 5% win rate on average. That means if I'm averaging, let's say, 75% in Tier 8, the average win rate I would have in this vehicle is 70%. Now, weirdly enough, I've actually been able to do pretty well in this vehicle at 75% win rate, but to be fair, vehicles like the Boss Chatillon Barrasque or probably even the Action 10 have a much higher win rate, at 78%. So even though I do very well in this tank percentage-wise, it is still lower than my average Tier 8, probably by quite a bit. I mean, my Mil 1951's upwards of 86% win rate, so it is still worse than my average vehicle, but it is such a fun tank to play that I really just don't care. The Caliban features one of the stupidest guns in the game. It has .474 dispersion, 6 seconds of aiming time, and 1700 damage per minute, but it has 187 millimeters of pen, dealing 860 damage per shot. Yeah, you heard that right, 860 damage per shot. So, I have a replay starred to showcase just what can happen with the Caliban if all of your stars align and your shells go true. It's really just such a fun vehicle to play. Now, not only does the Caliban have really bad gun base stats, but one of the values you don't see is the shell velocity. The shell velocity on the Caliban is about 300 meters. It is awful. I think it is the worst shell velocity, like, in the game, right next to the Nightmare, which is pretty dang atrocious when you think about it. So what do we have up against us? We got an Mil 2, an M5Yo, an SU-1 2254, an AMX 5100, a Borsig, a TVP VTU, and a Tiger 2. Tanks that I can penetrate frontally with Hesh are the TVP, the Borsig obviously, the AMX 5100, SU-122, and that's about it. The others are going to be a very, very hard penetration with Hesh, at least frontally. I can penetrate the sides of every tank in Tier 8 as long as it's not a Soviet side. You know, if I'm aiming at the side of an IS series, I'm going to load AP. Now, I will say the AP on this tank is actually quite nice. It's got 230 millimeters of pen, and I think it's like 560 damage per shot. It's enough that you're still going to hit really hard if you're able to penetrate your shell, and it's AP, which means you will cut through spaced armor or anything of that matter. So I actually really like the AP ammunition on this vehicle. It's not bad at all. So we got the TVP off to the side. I'm behind cover, so he won't spot me, and 1,173 damage. I mean, that right there is the perfect example of what the Caliban does. It says, oh look, you got spotted. You backed in the cover, but then for some reason you decided to poke out of cover once again. Lose all of your health. And yeah, he did lose all of his health. Now we're aiming on the Emil, and, well, yeah, we missed the shell on the Emil. Unfortunate, but that is kind of what happens when you use this vehicle. But I've already done 1,200 damage, so I really can't complain all too much. We've got the AMX 5100 off in the back here, and, well, there's not much I can really shoot, but maybe if this AMX keeps backing up. Fire! Oh, I don't know exactly where it went. It says track damage, so, but it couldn't have hit his track exactly because clearly it would have broken his track if it had hit it. So I'm not really sure where we hit the AMX, but clearly it was on a part of the tank I could unfortunately not penetrate. Now we've got the M5Yo off to the side. I get shot once by the Yo, and I'm spotted by him, I just want to point out. And then he just turns his turret to the side and ignores me and allows me to penetrate him for another 900 damage. So already we've been able to deal 2,500 in this battle, which is a pretty solid chunk. I mean, 2,500 damage is already a decent game in Tier 8 as it is. We've got the Emil 2. He's sitting still, so we're able to connect a lucky AP shell into his lower plate for 500 and break over that 3,000 damage barrier. Already, that is a pretty impressive chunk of damage, and I really can't complain. We haven't blocked anything, but to be honest, we've only been shot once, so I can't really get all too mad. At this point, their team is obviously going to lose this battle. I've already been able to obliterate 2 tier tanks. I would have said tier 8s, but one of them's a tier 9. So at this point, I'm just going to drive into the front line. Now, I would say the major reason why the Caliban does so well in some games is people don't think about it. I don't know why, but like this Emil 2 just forgets about me existing. And when you're able to get up to your opponents this close, your accuracy doesn't really matter all too much. You can just shotgun them in the face, and there you go. Another 800 damage, bringing me up to 3,869 dealt. And now I just let my teammate clean up the scraps, and I'm going to try pushing for the next opponent, being the Tiger 2. Now, the Tiger 2 is a very juicy tank because it has no spaced armor on the sides, and... oh, 853, leaving him at 7 health, bringing me up to 4,722 damage dealt. Yeah, I mean, we are just demolishing our opponents here. Okay, well, let's see if we can do any more damage. We know the SU-122 is at base A because it would have been spotted anywhere else. So the SU gets spotted by me. I just got lucky that he was at this position. I let him shoot me again because I could care less. And, oh, 944 slap into the turret, or the hull of his tank, really. With that, we've dealt 5,666 damage and come out with an absolutely astounding victory for the Caliban. We got 0 kills because obviously when you're driving a tank like this, you are not going for kills, you are going for damage. Obviously, we were able to ace a tank in this game, come out with a high caliber, and not really that many credits, to be honest. For 5,600 damage, you'd think I'd make more credits than 218,000, but no, I really didn't make that many credits. Another reason why the Caliban really is not an amazing premium. This is a tank that I'm going to be saving up gold for to try and get on my free-to-play account, because it really is it's just such a fun tank. If I'm able to get this on my free-to-play account, I'm going to be incredibly happy. So I'm going to start saving up a lot of gold. Now, obviously, I might spend my gold on something else on my free-to-play, but this is definitely a tank that I will save up for. It is so fun to just get your hands on, derp your opponents. Yesterday, I was doing a double tune with space in the Caliban, and I mean, we were able to, in fact, I have some of the replays from yesterday. It was on Middleburg, and this was probably the most devastating battle I've seen in a while, so I might as well just show it. You're going to see what 2 Calibans are able to do in a battle. So you can see space is in the Caliban, and originally we were going to go up the hill. We were like, yeah, we should go up the hill. Our team's going to. But then I had a genius idea. I said, you know what? A lot of unskilled players usually go to town. They don't know what they're doing, so they go to town. So I said, you know what? Instead of going up the hill, where we're going to deal with mediums and tanks that are going to be hard to hit because they're mobile, how about we go to town, and how about we just clear town in a couple of seconds and deal with what's over here? So that's exactly what we did. The enemy probably pushed about 4 tanks into town, and none of them were threatening tanks. We've got an ISU-152 over here, and, well, we aim in. Aw, really? That's a big shame. We shoot at the ISU, but unfortunately the shell goes into his track rather than the lower plate. That would have instantly obliterated him. But you know what? That's fine, because we're going to chill right here. Space pulls out and pens the 45 TP for 730. Don't worry, Space. I got you, bro. Well, there goes the 45 TP. I don't think that guy really, I don't think he really knew what was going on. All right, well, next target, the Tiger P. Let's see how he enjoys a 150mm gun. So the Tiger P gets shot by Space for 856, and then gets... This is just such a stupid vehicle. Well, there goes the Tiger P. That is 1,700 damage dealt from me and about 1,700 damage dealt from Space. That is insane. I mean, we've literally been able to clear 2 tier 8s in just a matter of seconds. Now we've got the T-32, who overangles his side, which allows me to pen another shell into his vehicle for 870 damage, and Space finishes him off, pulling around the other corner for 570. So already I've been able to deal 2,600 damage, which is pretty dang stupid when you think about it. I'm going to make my way up towards Sea Hill, which is what Space is going to do as well. And, well, what do we have left? We have a Type 57 Mecha, and the other vehicle seems to be a Pershing or something like that. Yeah, it is a Pershing. Okay, well, let's keep on going up the hill. The Pershing is off to my side, but I could really care less about that Pershing. This is where the juicy HP is. So, Space shoots his shell. I shoot mine on the move, and mine ends up hitting directly in his lower plate for 830 damage. And because I have my adrenaline and Space doesn't, I know for a fact I'm going to be able to get the shell out before he does. So I only have 200 health. The Type 57 turns to space. I get the shell in for 762 and deal 4,260 damage. Space, unfortunately, does not pen the shell on the Pershing, but it's not going to matter. This Pershing does not have the hit points to clear space. This is what the Caliban is all about. It is just such a fun vehicle to meme around with your friends. You didn't see the games we lost. There are a lot of games where you'll pull out the Caliban and you'll lose instantly because it doesn't have that capability to push. It's just a tank that is fun to derp on your opponents, and that's really what I love the Caliban for. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you guys think about this tank in the comments down below, but man, is this a fun vehicle. Space only ended up doing about 2,600, so it's definitely an iffy take on what you're going to do, but either way, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.